sure I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed at my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm always delighted to be joined by Mr. Andy Lee. Andy, first and foremost, how's things, mate?
All good, Andy. How are you?
Very, very, very good. Let's just jump straight to it then. Joseph Parker back in the ring. Quick turnaround for Joe after his loss to Joe Joyce in against Jack Massey, who's going to be a totally different opponent in terms of size and speed to Joe Joyce. So, yeah, how do you see the fight?
It's the complete opposite to Joyce. It's a good fight for Joseph in terms of an opponent to come back against. In some aspects, in terms of a smaller man and never really been at this level, but it's also not a dangerous fight, but a potential banana skin, because if Joe looks bad, has a flat performance, then people are going to start writing him off. And then I said to him quite plainly that if you have a bad showing, you can forget about the big time. You got to prove a point. He knows he's got a point to prove. Like, I've seen it anyway, how he's training, the desire and the focus I see in him. He knows he's got a point to prove, and he knows he's got to remind people how good he is.
Well, like I said, we did touch on it. Totally different opponent than Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce, 18, 19 stone, tall, with a power punch. Then you've got Jack Massey, who's coming up from cruiserweight, probably 15, 16 stone at a push. Probably going to bring faster hands, faster feet. Now, this is going to be testament to, obviously, a little bit of pressure on you and your coaching ability, because you've got to come up with a totally different game plan to the Joe Joyce fight. Do you feel any pressure in this fight yourself?
No. Yes, since we started with Joe, we've always had guys who come forward and put on pressure, which is Zora and Joyce. But it's almost, yeah, those are the styles that give Joe trouble, pressure, because Joe, in the past and at times still does, not as often as he has in the past, but takes breaks or looks to take breaks in fights. It's the thing we're constantly working on: staying ready, keeping his shape, stepping his feet, and being ready to punch or move, whatever it might be. So pressure is probably the worst style for Joseph to fight, but he's dealt with it in his last 3 fights. So Massey is almost like a pleasure, you know what I mean? And everything flows from the jab. I'm a coach who believes in the jab, who teaches the jab, and everything comes from the jab. And first the feet, but then the jab. And that's what I'll be telling Joe. Set the tone from the start. Where you're stepping, jabbing up and down, mixing your jab. Everything will be there for him.
Sounds like the old Kronk ways there, Andy. Off the jab. I spoke to Jack Massey yesterday, and he said there's no secret to my game plan. I've got to move, I've got to keep on, I've got to keep moving, I've got to keep moving. So that obviously the game plan's no secret on his side. It's catching Jack Massey. Do you know what I mean? I don't know what the game plan is for you. You said jab, 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 but being a smaller man and a lighter man, you said that the last 2 opponents put pressure on Joe. Now Joe's got to apply the pressure this time, I believe. So, do you think Joe can catch him?
I think so. Joe's got very fast hands, and Jack's a big lad. He's not, he's lighter, but he's not like a light heavy. He's not like he's a super middle. And even in that case, like, we know ourselves, there's weight divisions for a reason, and that's why they are, because you're in against a man who's bigger than you. It's an unfair advantage, and it's always like 3 or 4 times the work you have to put in just to compete with bigger men. That's why it's so hard. That's why bigger men have the advantage all the time. Tyson, Joyce, but Joseph has to be sharp. Come out sharp, step and sharp. Massey just can't circle the ring. He's got to try and engage at some stage, and when he does, he'll be getting hit.
Obviously, Jack Massey isn't the heavyweight that is going to put Joe back into title contention. So, when against Jack Massey on Saturday night, who are you looking at going into the future?
Parker's still a big name, and he's right in the mix. Like a back and forth fight with Joe Joyce doesn't end your career, even though it is the hardest fight out there in the heavy division for anybody. But memories are short these days, and people like highlight reel. They like Instagram clips, and I think Joe gets a good knockout, goes around the world. Next thing, people are looking at Joseph Parker again. And there's Michael Hunter out there, Dillian White, even Anthony Joshua. Parker's a legitimate opponent for any of them.
I want to touch on, obviously, the press conference for Eubank and Smith has gone on, but it sounds a bit tasty, man. So you were missing it, definitely. We'll catch it on YouTube, don't worry. Yeah, your thoughts on that fight then, Andy?
I keep changing my opinion who's going to win. Yeah, I keep changing my opinion every day. I can see ways both men can win. Smith's edge is clever. He's aggressive, clever, but tough, and there's a lot of craft to what he does. But Eubank is spiteful, and he's got that mixed away. He just keep punching all day, and the uppercuts as well. It's a real fight. I keep changing. Today I feel like it's going to be Eubank's fight, but tomorrow it could be Smith's. You know, I can see both ways men can win. They're a bit later on in their careers as well. Like they're both at not at their prime age, so it depends who's got the most left as well. I think.
One final one before we go and enjoy the rest of that press conference, Andy. You're in the camp with Tyson Fury, so this might be biased on your part, but it looks like Tyson and Usyk they're trading blows on social media. Looks like they might be in March. They're going to fight. Your thoughts if it happens?
I think it's a very tricky fight for Tyson, but not one he'll win. And can win in certain different ways in terms of his boxing, or he could smother Usyk, wrestle him, wear him down, and then bash him up. But I do think it's a tricky fight. He's very mobile, very clever. Again, lots of feints, doesn't waste lots of shots, very economical, and yeah, there's a lot of science to what he does. He doesn't do things by mistake. Everything he does is for a reason in the ring. Whatever feint he's doing, whatever way he's stepping or moving. So I think like Tyson thinks he's going to smash him up. You know, we're in the gym all the time. I'm going to kill this guy. But I think it's a tricky fight. I think it's a tricky fight, but not one. Tyson's a very good favourite to win. Yeah.
Andy, let's go and enjoy the rest of that press conference. But as always, good luck Saturday night. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you, Andy. Thank you.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.